Hello everybody, it's Bendominator and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Bendominator podcast. Today we're on episode 27 of the podcast, and I hope everyone is having a fantastic Monday today. In today's episode of the podcast, we have a ton of stuff to talk about because unfortunately I did not end up making an episode last week, and that is due to the fact that I was very sick last week. I've had allergies all week. In fact, I still have allergies today, but luckily I've recovered quite a lot by now. So we're already mixing up all our words today on today's episode. But yeah, I'm back. I'm back in action. I'm ready to make some more videos. Last week I only made one new commentary video that week. In fact, I only made one video at all. I didn't stream at all other than on Brim Day. So I'm really happy to get back into things. In fact, that Brim stream was probably like one of the most fun Brim streams I've ever done. It was just so much fun. The last few streams this season of Brim Royale have just been so much fun. I've been enjoying myself so much when streaming Brim, which has been awesome because I always look forward to it every single week. And I always tell myself that I need to stream Brim more often during the week. But I just never end up doing it because I'm either streaming something else or uploading that day or whatever. But yeah, it was really fun. But I was sick for the majority of the week, so I was only able to get one video out. If I wanted to, I probably could have gotten like 2 to 3 videos out this week if I talked about like news stuff. Like if I talked about pretty much everything that we're going to be talking about in today's podcast. I could have made 3 shorter news videos that wouldn't have been as hard to make. But I thought that I would rather make something that I felt a bit more passionate about, something that I really wanted to make, something that, yeah, took a lot more time, and, well, I was only able to upload that one single video this week due to me being sick, and due to how long it took me to make it. I think it was worth it, because I really enjoyed making that video, and I think it turned out very well, and that is the best weapon from every season in Chapter 2 video that I made. So yeah, I had a lot of fun making that. I thought I really like doing the ranking stuff, and you guys seem to enjoy it a lot as well. Just ranking things, talking about things, making lists, it requires like a lot of research and stuff, and it's that kind of stuff I love to do. I love to go in and research certain things about Fortnite, especially from older seasons. And with the skin reviews, it's not as much research, but it's more of me going back and using those older skins again, and even newer skins, like the Season 8 Battle Pass video that I did last week. It's a lot of fun, in my opinion. I love kind of ranking things, I love giving my opinion on stuff in kind of that kind of format. So I want to do more of that stuff, and you guys seem to love it as well. Like, I always get a bunch of comments saying that people love the ranking stuff, so I'm very happy about that. So I thought that was a better play than just giving my thoughts on random news this week, because, well, that would have been really good for the channel. It's just not something I was really interested in doing. I would have rather made that video instead, and I think it turned out good, and I'm happy I did it, because otherwise that video probably never would have been made. So I'm happy I ended up doing that instead. And I have the podcast, and I get to talk about all the news on here, so it's not like I'm missing out on giving my opinions on all this stuff, because you can hear it on the podcast if you would like to. So I think that's really cool. So I'm going to be talking about a bunch of news topics from the last 2 weeks pretty much, though nothing really happened during the week when I didn't make a podcast. So even if I did do a podcast episode that week, it might have been a little short and not too interesting, but I always say that, and then I end up talking for like an hour on here. So, but yeah, this week's definitely going to be a really fun one, and I'm excited about that. Also, something that I really haven't talked about much, because I haven't really had the opportunity outside of streams, is Brim Royale's first birthday. At this point, it was 2 weeks ago, I believe, or a week ago from a few days ago. A week ago from yesterday, I guess. So, yeah, that's awesome. It's so crazy to me that we've been streaming Brim Royale consistently every single week for an entire year. Yes, we did change the streams from Friday to Saturday a few weeks ago, but even when I was sick, I still streamed the map on its birthday because I couldn't miss streaming the map on its birthday. So we've streamed it every single week, I believe, for the last year, and now even longer. So that's kind of wild to me. It's crazy that Brim Royale's been around this long, and it's still going strong today. In fact, it's doing better than it was before. Like it's reached higher and higher heights. More people are tuning into the streams, more people are playing the map, more people are watching trailers. It's been a ton of fun. It's been a great time, and as the seasons go on, I've just been having more fun with it. I know everybody has their favorite seasons of the map, um, but for me, I just think like no matter what season we're doing, no matter what update we're playing, I just have more and more fun every stream as we keep going. Especially ever since we started doing Chapter 2. So I'm excited about Brim. I mean, it's been a whole year, and I just want to keep going strong with it. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I hope you guys are as well because it is definitely not going anywhere. So I am very happy about that. I mean, I can't imagine this channel without it at this point. It's kind of wild. So yeah, been a big milestone for this year. So yeah, we've had quite a few crazy milestones recently, and I think it's gonna be a while. I mean, actually, here's another big milestone. I guess, well, in terms of anniversary stuff, like a few months back in June. No, in August. What am I saying? Yeah, in August we had the 1 year anniversary of the channel and AXO releasing in the item shop. Now we have the 1 year anniversary of Brim, so that's pretty cool. And this week, it's not an anniversary, but I am actually finally monetized on this channel, so I actually can make a bit of money from this, from doing this, which I'm very excited about because I've been doing YouTube I've been doing it over a year at this point, so I've been grinding away at it, and it's really paying off at this point, and I'm very excited about it. Everything just from like getting a supporter creator code to just having the 1 year anniversary of Brim to now being monetized and just meeting all these incredible people through doing YouTube. It's been such a cool experience all the way through, and I feel like just the 1 year of Brim was kind of the big thing to be like, yeah, this is another big milestone. Now I'm monetized. Now I can do all these things. Now I'm kind of getting a better idea of the identity of this channel, what I want to do with it moving forward, with the commentaries, kind of doing more ranking stuff, doing more research videos, kind of researching maybe some older seasons of Fortnite, maybe some newer stuff, just kind of getting into that because, well, I love doing the news stuff, and while I am still going to do a lot of news videos, it's just something that I feel like I'm branching off from. It's something that was a really good starting point for me to get my foot in the door, making news commentaries, because it's really just something that's fairly simple to do. You just have to have like a lot of perseverance to just keep doing it until it works. And it's taken me a while. I've been doing it for a very long time. And now I feel like I'm able to branch out more. I've gotten more ideas. I've got more creative with stuff. It's just, I want more time to just be, I wish days were longer so I had more time to edit and script things even better, because I'd love to be releasing like two to three like super highly edited videos every week, like my history of pickaxes or my reskins video. I'd love that to be the norm, but it simply just can't be right now, which is really unfortunate. But I'm trying to make higher quality videos either way, and I think the best weapons from every season video is a good step in that right direction, and I think just branching out and making some more creative videos along with having all the news videos in between is a good idea, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited to keep experimenting with stuff. I've also had a lot of fun making a bunch of Boomerang trailers for a lot of the individual updates. Just a lot of little small trailers that don't have premieres. Just know that if a trailer has an actual premiere, that means it's probably very, very important. But there's all these other little ones that don't have premieres that aren't really too important. They're not like essential viewing for the Boomerang storyline or anything, but they're really fun, and you guys seem to enjoy them as well. Just fun little videos to promote some of the larger updates within the season. So that's been a lot of fun. Just a lot of cool stuff happening on the channel recently, and I'm just excited to continue with it. I also have a few ideas for channel members. I want to set that up so we can have channel members have specific perks for things like live streams, the podcast, certain videos. I want to have some creative projects that I can do with members. I think that would be really cool. So yeah, I think it would be awesome to just have like a live stream series, and have a creative project that I can work on with members for anyone who wants to become a member. So hopefully I can set that up soon. and we can do stuff like that, because I think that would be really cool, just kind of getting the community more involved and helping me out a ton there in the process as well. I think that kind of stuff is really cool, and I think that's a good step to take the channel in as well. Just kind of grow everything and just kind of see what happens with it, because I'm really excited and I got a lot of cool ideas for it. So I'm glad you guys are here. And if you're listening to this podcast, then you are one of the more more adamant fans on my channel, because the podcast is definitely not the most popular thing on this channel. So it's one of those things that I feel like I don't know like a good way to put this, but the podcast is like what the real fans watch, which I hate saying that, but that's probably not a good way to put it, because, you know, everyone's a real fan, but like the super dedicated fans watch. That's a better way. That's a better thing to say. The dedicated fans listen to the podcast, because the podcast is definitely the less popular thing I do, probably the least popular thing I do on this channel, but I have a lot of fun with it, and people who enjoy the podcast just seem to really enjoy it as well. And I also love all the feedback that you guys have to give me on the podcast as well, because I like making these as good as I can possibly make them, making improvements to them as well, along with the other stuff. But yeah, if you're listening to the podcast, I respect you a lot, because I know that it is a pretty daunting task to listen to like a 30 to 40 to an hour long video, and just listening to me ramble this whole time. But you know, I think that a lot of people really enjoy it, and the people who enjoy it, I think get a lot out of this. So I'm glad you're here. And if you have any feedback for me, be sure to leave it in the comments below. I'd love to read all the comments and improve the podcast as much as possible. But anyway, I think that's enough ranting about the channel. Let's actually talk about some of the news that we have from Fortnite this week. So the big thing that's happening recently is that we are getting an update tomorrow. It is the final update of the entire season, supposedly, as I've heard. So take that with you will. Maybe there'll be another update after it, but it seems like this is going to be the last one, which I can kind of believe, because it's getting close to the end of the season. So yeah, it's a little disappointing, but at the same time, most people are just ready for the next season anyway. People are ready to move on from this season. People are ready to move on from this chapter. And I'll talk a bit about that later as well. But yeah, it seems like this is going to be the last update. Hopefully it introduces some good stuff. I'm really hoping creative gets some good stuff. Melee weapons, please. I don't know. I kind of want to say I doubt it, but at the same time, I'm like, it has to happen at this point because it's been so long, but who knows? We just have to wait. We're just in the dark with those melee weapons at this point. It's just weird. But, yeah, I don't have super high hopes for creative. I just hope we get melee weapons. We're getting the accolades device for sure. And, yeah, that's going to be interesting. At least I believe, yeah, the accolades device was mentioned that it would be coming out. So yeah, they had a whole blog post about it and everything, which is interesting with the accolades thing. We'll talk about that later. But, yeah, really, really cool stuff there. So at least accolades. Don't really know about much else, hopefully melee stuff. But the big thing that's happening in tomorrow's update that we know of for sure is that Naruto is coming to the game tomorrow. I don't know if there's going to be an early item shop reset. I kind of hope there's an early item shop reset. I would assume there would be. But we might also have to wait. I'm excited for the Naruto collab, actually, which is really weird because I don't watch Naruto. I don't watch any anime, really. The only anime I've watched is a Pokemon anime, so I'm not really much into it, but the skins look cool, and I like the character designs, so I might pick up some of the skins in the item shop, considering, I mean, depending on how they look, I'm not a huge fan of the whole cel-shaded design, but there's no other way they can really do it. It's just kind of difficult to make combos with is my main issue with it, but I don't really blame them, because how else are they going to do it? It would look weird if it wasn't cel-shaded. So I'm curious to see how all the skins look in-game, and I might actually end up picking one or two up in the item shop. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I've kind of been swept up by the hype of it, even though I don't really know anything about the source material. That seems to happen with me in a lot of collabs. Like, if I just like the design of the skin, I might purchase it, even if I don't really know anything about the source material at all. So I think that's cool. I think it's awesome when collabs are able to do that. for me because I always just like good looking skins. And I mean, even if it's a collab, I mean, I'll still consider buying it. I'll still look and see if I like the skin, you know? So, yeah, I'm excited to see how it looks in game. So, I might end up actually picking up some Naruto cosmetics in the item shop. We'll just have to wait and see. So that is exciting. I'm definitely excited about that. It's a little weird. I hope they do more with it than just cosmetics. Um, there's been rumors of like some kind of mythic weapon, but I mean, yeah, I hope they do just something kind of cool. I know we're not gonna get like any map changes for it or anything, but it's something I'd like to see. You know, some nice area inspired by Naruto will be cool, but it doesn't seem like we're gonna get that. It seems like it's mostly just gonna be cosmetics and maybe a mythic weapon. Um, and yeah, and in terms of all the other stuff for the update, really all I can expect is just mechs. Like mechs return, or at least mechs are like they have the voting for them to return, and the final vote for the Flintlock versus proximity grenade launcher. And that's going to be a very heated debate. I'm assuming that the Flintlock is going to win, but I really want the proximity grenade launcher to win. I really love that weapon. It's so much fun to me, especially in high explosives. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think too many people think it's overpowered, which I can kind of agree with, but I still want it. I still like it. Even if it's kind of overpowered, I still love getting kills with it. It's so much fun. But yeah, the Flintlock will be good too, though. The Flintlock is also a very solid pick, so I wouldn't be upset with the Flintlock. I just really want the proximity to come out. Also, we're getting a Boba Fett collab, which is pretty interesting, but it doesn't happen until December 24th. So that's interesting. It seems that we're going to get the Boba Fett skin and then some other character that I don't recognize. But yeah, that's cool. I feel like it's kind of going to be similar to Mandalorian. I hope they make his design distinct enough, but I'll probably be just sticking with my buddy Mando in my locker. I don't think I need Boba Fett. But the only reason I really enjoyed Mando so much is because I love Boba Fett's design in the Star Wars movies. I always thought he had a really cool design, and when we got Mandalorian, I was like, yeah, this is close enough. Uh, and even if Boba Fett, like, once Boba Fett's actually in the game himself, I'm still probably not gonna buy it because we have Mandalorian. So, even though I technically like Boba Fett's design better, I think he has a cooler color scheme. He's probably gonna look better in game. I don't know if it's worth it when we already have Mandalorian, so I'm just gonna keep running my Mandalorian skin instead, I think. But hey, maybe my opinion will change by the time I see him in game. But it's gonna be a while, so we'll see. That'll be an interesting skin. It's interesting that they always do the Star Wars stuff around Christmas time. I'm guessing that's just because their movies always release during the holidays. But I really hope that if Boba Fett comes out, they release all the other Star Wars cosmetics, because there's still a few cosmetics from the Star Wars set that I want to really pick up from the item shop. And yeah, I really hope they bring out all the other Star Wars stuff as well into the item shop. I'm surprised they didn't do that with the Mando's Bounty stuff. I'm surprised they didn't do it on Star Wars Day. So maybe they'll do it when they release Boba Fett. Who knows? I think that would be really, really cool. And I hope we get some other Star Wars skins as well. There's a lot of cool Star Wars skins I would love to see. Especially like Darth Vader and just some of the OG characters, Darth Vader, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia. It just seems like such a missed opportunity that they went with all like the new characters. Like I like the Kylo Ren skin. I think Rey's a pretty cool skin, but I think it would have been a lot cooler to see Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader and all those characters. I think those characters just have cooler designs. I like the characters themselves more, but even if it wasn't for that, I still think Darth Vader is a way cooler design than Kylo Ren, you know? So, I still think those would be cool to see, but we'll just have to wait and see. At least we have the Stormtroopers. Those are pretty cool. It's a pretty cool skin. Which is funny because I actually was very close to getting the Stormtrooper skin, because I was gonna buy the game, the Fallen Order, but I never ended up purchasing the game, so I never got the skin. But I was planning on getting that game, and then I would get the skin with the bundle. But I just never bought the game. I never ended up actually like buying it. So I don't have that skin. So if it returns to the app shop, I might pick it up. Who knows? So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Hopefully they release Star Wars stuff again. We'll just have to wait and see. Maybe there'll be more Star Wars cosmetics, but probably not. We'll just have to wait and see. Again, it's not until December 24th. very close to Christmas time. Another really interesting thing is that we got Dark Phoenix in the game, which is a X-Men character from Marvel, another Marvel collab. But I really do enjoy the skin. It's very simplistic though. It's one of the more boring Marvel skins I think we have in the game. Still waiting for Spider-Man. Maybe that'll come out next season. I doubt it's coming out this season at this point. I made a prediction in my prediction video that we'd be getting Doctor Strange and Spider-Man during this season. But I believe that if we ever do get them next season, maybe, I'm going to probably make that same prediction again for the end of the season, for the prediction video for next season. And we'll talk a lot about next season in a bit here. But yeah, I'm excited to see if we get Spider-Man or Doctor Strange. I really want both of them because like the whole thing is people are talking about it a lot recently because one, it's like Spider-Man's one of the big characters that we still don't have in the game, and it's kind of surprising that we don't have in the game. Like it feels weird that we have like Iron Man and Captain America and like everyone else, but we don't have Spider-Man. So yeah, it's just a weird glaring omission, but I can understand it because Spider-Man's really weird when it comes to his rights and his copyright. So that's kind of the main issue, I think. But also his new movie is coming out, and it's coming out in December. So hopefully next season they give us the Spider-Man skin. That's what a lot of people are thinking. And it's interesting because in that movie he has like a lot of different costumes. It seems like he wears the Far From Home costume. It seems like the Iron Spider costume makes a return. So I would hope they would integrate a lot of those costumes. And then also the movie has a lot of rumors of a bunch of different Spider-Man characters returning as well. So maybe multiple different Spider-Man skins, or they're gonna do like just one simple like their own version of Peter Parker. It'll be interesting to find out. The main thing I really want for is I hope we get like a Peter Parker that kind of resembles Tom Holland with an edit style to turn into Spider-Man, with an Iron Spider variant, and a Doctor Strange skin as well. That's really what I want. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's what I'm hoping for, especially with Doctor Strange, because oh my goodness, that would just be so cool. And it's so cool that Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are getting a movie together, because those are literally my two favorite Marvel characters, especially in the MCU, so I really hope they both get skins in Fortnite soon. I'm still waiting on it. Doctor Strange is definitely way less likely, but I think it would be awesome. I really, really do. And I hope that if they do Doctor Strange, they do him right, you know? I hope they do it right. So yeah, that would be interesting. That would be very, very interesting for sure. I doubt they're gonna get like the likeness for Tom Holland or Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield or whoever they end up making the skin based on, but it would be cool if they did. It would definitely be cool, but it would still be cool to see them make their own version of it, I think, which they have done for pretty much all. I don't think they have like an actual likeness for any of the Marvel characters. Actually, well, for Thanos, but that's a bit different because he's like CGI'd, so he doesn't look like the actual actor, but he looks exactly like he does in the movie, which you can't really say about any of the other skins, even the Loki one, which was supposed to be based on the MCU version, but it was really only his costume. They didn't really get the likeness for the actor, so that was a bit disappointing to me. But you can't really tell in games, so it's not a huge deal. It's just something I would have liked to see. So yeah, that's most of the stuff. We got the combat pistol in the game. We got mechs probably returning soon before the end of the season. The cube is still kind of going outwards. There's an FNCS skin, another one, but it's not just like a default reskin. It's actually like a bit more unique, and it's just kind of come to the item shop anyway. Part of me really wishes that like they made an actual exclusive FNCS skin. Like, wouldn't that be kind of cool to have like an exclusive FNCS skin that only people who won the tournament can use? That would like be cool, you know? Because I kind of miss having like really cool skins that not everyone could get. Because we got like the Renegade Raider, we got like that kind of stuff. But other than Renegade Raider and Aerial Assault Trooper, and like there's like Indigo Kuno. Other than that, there's no other rare skins anymore. I mean, Hackavat came to the shop a few days ago, we don't have like any rare skins in the game anymore. It would be awesome to see them kind of build up a repertoire of rare skins again. I think that would be really cool. So an FNCS exclusive, I think that would be awesome. I think that would just be cool. I know it sucks because like if the skin's really good, a lot of people want it, but I don't know. I just think that would be really really cool to have like an exclusive skin to FNCS players because I think if you play really well in FNCS, you deserve a cool reward like that. I think that would be awesome. I think a big reason Epic doesn't do stuff like that anymore, though, is because it does promote a lot of account selling and a lot of account buying, and it promotes a lot of scams. And Epic is not about that. Epic does not want that to happen. So I think that's the reason that they don't really do exclusives that much anymore. They seem to all be timed exclusives, so they'll come to the item shop later. So it's a bit interesting. Like the whole Monopoly thing, I don't understand why that couldn't like just not come to the item shop. That would have been a cool exclusive to have for the Monopoly game. But I guess not. It's just weird. I think they just don't want people buying and selling accounts for rare items anymore. But I guess they don't care about Renegade Raider and Aerial Soul Trooper because they have a long history, and I don't think they were ever going to sell those unless it's like years down the line, and people just don't care anymore. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just think it would be cool to have some more exclusive skins in the game. Just have some rare skins in the game. Like it'll be cool if they made like the Gingerbread Raider from last year. It'll be really interesting if they just never released it again. I think that would be cool. I mean, it would also suck for the people who really want it, but it would make an interesting dynamic. Have some rare skins, and it's cool because they used to always do that for holiday stuff too. Like there would be certain skins they never brought back. Um, so yeah, that would be interesting. I think that would be interesting, but it would suck for people who want the actual skins to buy. And the whole rare thing is kind of weird. But I think maybe not for item shop stuff, but just for like tournament stuff. Like it would be cool to have some tournament exclusive skins, I think. I think that would be awesome. Like just have some maybe reskins that are tournament exclusive. I think that would be cool. I don't know, but I could understand why people wouldn't want that, and I can understand why Epic wouldn't want that because they don't want account selling it and account buying. Um, so it makes sense. It's just something that I think would be interesting to see, but it's not a huge deal if it doesn't end up being the case. But yeah, that FNCS skin is definitely coming to the item shop, so that will not be exclusive skin, unfortunately. But also fortunately for the people who want to buy it. So yeah, that's just my little take on it. But anyway, let's talk about next season. So in tomorrow's update, I we either get event files or we don't get event files. And since the last season supposedly, or the last update of the season supposedly, I feel like if we don't get event files, this is how I see it. If there are no event files in the next update, tomorrow's update, then I don't think we're getting Chapter 3 next season. If there are event files in the next update, I do think we're getting Chapter 3 next season. And I'm not saying that it's not possible that we do if there's an event, or if that we don't if there's an event. Like, if there's an event, there's still a possibility that we don't get Chapter 3, and if there's not an event, there's still a possibility that we do get Chapter 3. But my prediction is that if there's an event, that Chapter 3 is next season, but if there isn't, then it's not. And that's how I'm going to kind of view it. So if there's an event, that's how I'm going to predict, like that's what I'm going to predict for my prediction video for the next season. It'll be based on that. Again, it's all just predictions, but I feel like that's a really big clue. Everything else for me, I'm still leaning on the season 9 side of things, but there's still a lot of evidence for both. That's why it's such a tricky thing right now, and it's you just can't say for certain. It's just a big guessing game at the moment, so it's really tricky, and I'm excited to learn the answer. And I really want it to be Chapter 3, but, I don't feel like it's likely at the moment, but tomorrow could change my mind, depending on if there's event files in the game, depending on, like, are we getting an event this season, And part of me just thinks that we're not going to see an event this season. I mean, we saw 2 live events last season. Are they really going to have time to make another for the end of this one? They could. I mean, they've pulled crazy stuff off in the past, but I'm not very hopeful. I'm not. I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm not like I'm not expecting it. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, it's another one of those things. We just gotta wait and see. And it's just for me, I really want Chapter 3. I think Chapter 3 would be awesome. I think like now is a good time for it. Yeah, it would kind of suck that we wouldn't be getting a cool finale to this chapter. It would feel very rushed. Like this season just feels like, oh, we just gotta give them something so we can bring out the next season. But Chapter 3 would make this season's kind of boringness feel better. Uh, it would make it feel worth it. Because right now it really does feel like this season had a lot of potential, and they're just giving us a bunch of old items like mechs. Seems like they're going to come back, like doing the votes, giving us old stuff, and vaulting random old items. It feels very much like they're just being like, oh, hey, here's this. Other than like the collabs, like the collabs have been very on point. The collabs have been very good lately. They've been very quality, so it doesn't feel like the collabs are being rushed out, but it feels like the updates and the content is just being kind of like flung at us. Even like the whole Fortnitemares event just felt bleh. Like, even though the collabs are good, a lot of the original cosmetics just kind of flopped, in my opinion. A lot of them were reskins. A lot of the stuff we got was like stuff from old Halloween events, and the new stuff we got was really great, but there wasn't really a lot of it, So it was a mixed bag for me. I talked a lot about it on the last episode of the podcast 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it just feels like this whole season is just them throwing stuff at us, which would make a lot of sense if it was Chapter 3 next season. But if it's Season 9, that's going to be very underwhelming. But from the way things are looking right now, I still do firmly believe Season 9 is going to be what's happening next, and I wouldn't be completely upset about that if the season was good. So if Season 9 ends up being a banger, then I'm all for it. But it's still going to hurt if it's not that great and it's Chapter 3. But again, I think it's Season 9, so I'm not really getting my hopes up, and I mean, if it ends up being, I guess if there's an event, then I will be getting my hopes up quite a bit, which is unfortunate, but I just can't help but see an event and think Chapter 3 with all the other stuff we've gotten. So that's going to be a bit unfortunate if there is an event and it's Season 9. But again, if Season 9's a banger, then, I'm all for it, So yeah, it's just really confusing, and I'll come back to you guys next week with an update on that, an update on my opinion, and of course, I'm going to be making a predictions video for the next season like I do with every season, so yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with it. But I'm just excited to find out, I'm excited to find out, and while I am on the side that I think Season 9 is next, I'm very hopeful for Chapter 3, and I really do want Chapter 3 to happen. It's just, I don't want to get my hopes up, and I don't want to jump on the hype bandwagon because it just seems like if it goes nowhere, then it's going to be a major disappointment, and it just doesn't feel like we're in a spot where we can really confirm or deny anything at this point. And yeah, so that's kind of where I am with it right now at the moment. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for the news section, but we're going to go into the viewer questions part of the podcast. Now, remember, if you guys want to send me questions to answer on the podcast, I always ask for questions every single Monday on the community tab, and I also ask them on my Twitter and sometimes on my Discord when I remember to. But yeah, for today, I'm going to be answering questions on Twitter and on YouTube. I don't know how many Twitter questions I actually have. There might be only one that I wanted to answer here, but I know there was one that I wanted to take a look at, so I'm going to go ahead and check. Okay, yeah, it's from Axon. Axon on Twitter asked, did this season live up to your expectations? And I'm gonna say yes, And that's only because I wasn't really expecting much from this season. I kind of went into the season with very low expectations. And I kind of got everything that I wanted other than map changes. I got fun new weapons. I got, that's about it. I got a decent Halloween, I got a decent Halloween event. I had fun during Fortnitemares. So that's a plus. Not really a lot of great skins on the kind of like original cosmetic side, but there were some cool skins from it. And yeah, even though the map suffered, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the season, but I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. I think that the season would have been a lot more liked if it happened earlier in the chapter, because right now it really feels like this is just a season where they're just throwing out a bunch of old stuff. I don't like the amount of recyclable content. I don't like the lack of map changes. It feels very uninteresting. It feels very dry. It feels like it had a lot of potential that they're just not really living up to. But the stuff that they have added, I really like. I really like the sideways stuff. I love the sideways scythe. A lot of the other sideways weapons are great as well. All the new items they've introduced this season are great. The whole voting system is awesome. I like a lot of the stuff that they've done this season. It just doesn't feel like it's been enough. And it just hasn't kept my interest very long. And I think that's mostly due to the fact that we're so far into Chapter 2 that the entire chapter as a whole has gotten stale. And the huge lack of map changes. I think map changes are such a big deal. And the fact that we barely got any this season just hurts us so much. I think this season could have been so much better, so much more bearable if it had better map changes. But I find it hard to hate this season because it seems like they've really done a lot of cool stuff with it, you know? And I hate to see so much hate on this season, but it's hard for me to kind of also boot it up and play it and say I'm having a great time, you know? So it's really weird. There's a few times when I've actually had a lot of fun this season, but most of it's felt very stale, and most of it I feel like I'm just waiting for the next update. And I don't think next update's going to change my opinion on the season, but here's hoping that next season is good. Here's hoping that next season is Chapter 3. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, anyway, moving on to YouTube questions. 0 Point asks, are you hyped for the winter event? Yes, I'm very hyped for the winter event. I love Christmas. I love Christmas events. Let's hope we get some cool Christmas skins. I've already been wearing some of my Christmas loadouts. I got my loadouts ready, you know? So yeah, I'm very excited for the winter event, and it's going to be very interesting. If it is Chapter 3 next season, that's going to be a very interesting thing. We head into Chapter 3, and then, oh, here's a winter event. But that's kind of how it was with Chapter 2. We got Chapter 2, and then immediately got a Fortnitemares event. So, yeah, it's kind of sucky that if next season is Chapter 3, we'll never see the Chapter 2 map fully covered in snow again. We only saw it once during Season 1 of Chapter 2. And I always love it when the entire map gets covered in snow. So, yeah. And I hope we kind of get some, snow places off the bat next chapter when it does come out. I think that would be cool to see some snow POIs in the map, at the start of the chapter, and just have snow POIs on the map the entire time, because I think it would be cool to start out with a few different biomes other than just grasslands, you know. So I think that would be cool. Apex Studio asks, what do you think will happen if next season is Season 9? So, if next season is Season 9, which is what I've been predicting so far, I don't really know what I would expect from it, honestly. I feel like they would introduce some kind of random new element to the game. I would hope that there would be a lot of map changes. I would hope they would change up the map quite a bit, but I'm not expecting it. If it was Season 9, I feel like it would be kind of an underwhelming season, but I hope it would be good. I can't really think of how they would make it good, though. I can't think of how, other than just changing the map up a bunch and giving us a bunch of new weapons and items. I don't know how they would make it that interesting, you know? I think it would be really cool to have some kind of, new vehicle that's kind of stagnant on the map. Like something that I think like a lot of people have been wanting recently, and something I've really been wanting is a train system. I think it would be awesome to get on a train and kind of go across the map. It would be really interesting if like multiple players got on the train and they started having fights within like the train carriers. I think that would be really, really cool. It would be very unique. Overall, like train fights would be awesome. Trains would be really cool. Just having train tracks all around the map. Um, Other than that, like I don't know what they would do for the season 9. I don't know what they would do on this map anymore after this. Like this feels like the cataclysmic peak. This feels like the climax of chapter 2. And yet I still feel like they're gonna do more with it because, you know, they can never get too crazy. And I don't know. I don't know what they would do after this. I don't know where the story goes after this, you know, other than the map getting destroyed. But I still feel like Epic would find a way to continue this chapter and keep it going some way. And that's why I think it's probably not going to be that exciting, because it's hard to even think of something exciting to happen next to this map, you know? Maybe the cubes will do something crazy, start some kind of war, make a giant new area. I don't know, dude. It's just weird. It's strange. It's hard to predict what's going to happen next, especially when we don't have much info about the next season. But what I will say is I predict that the next season will be season 9, and I predict that it's going to be underwhelming, as saddening as that is to hear. But I hope it's chapter 3. I really do, but I don't want to get my hopes up, so we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't sound very optimistic right now, but maybe next update will change that. Hey, maybe we'll get some event files. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm still excited for the future of the of Fortnite, though. I'm very excited to see what happens next season, and I'm very curious to know if it's gonna be chapter 3, season 9. I'm curious, you know. So I'm hopeful. I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not really hopeful, am I? I don't know. It's confusing. It's really confusing. It's hard to know what to think right now. Fortnite's just in a weird spot right now where we just want something good. We just want things to change. We just need something to freshen things up a bit more. And yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what that is. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to be about it. I've been getting a lot of questions about Brim Season 5. Unfortunately, I can't really answer anything about it because I don't want to spoil it. So yeah, that's still being developed at the moment. And hopefully it releases soon, but it's still being worked on. So yeah, I can't really answer anything about that, unfortunately. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to be about it for this episode of the podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I had a really fun time recording this episode. And yeah, I think this was just a really fun time. Glad I got to talk about a bunch of the news that I didn't really make videos on. And I'm glad that I'm not sick anymore. I still have a bit of allergy. Sorry if I sound a bit sick in this episode. But yeah, I'm glad to get back into it. I'm monetized now, so I'm very inspired to start making some stuff. So I'm happy about that. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you guys want to subscribe, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I've never said that intro in that way. That's really weird. But if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. That's how I say it. You can also use my support creator Bendominator in the item shop #ad. And you can follow me on Twitter or join my Discord. Both links are in the description below. I hope you guys had a great day today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. I really messed up this outro super, super bad. And goodbye.